This is the Unbreakable Golfers podcast, where we're shining a light on your pain and weakness and how it is affecting your positions, your power, and your performance on the golf course. What do you do when the shit hits the fan? Inside Unbreakable Golfers, every single day we do something called it falls under the banner of a switch move, but basically you would do a switch action taker. So it's a series of questions that you work through, and you do this every single day, and then you get 1 point towards your mind, doing this partly in the morning to get clear, get up, get clear, get moving, get better. Now, they all fall under the banner of this switch move. So switch move is basically you switch your stories and you move into action. There's a few that we do. The one that you have to do that you have to physically type out is obviously the switch action taker, but basically the whole point is switching. It's a set of questions that you work your mind through to get a different perspective, and then you move into the next phase. So if you're in a situation when the shit hits the fan and you want to work through a switch move, now you wouldn't get a score if you've done it in your head, but the more reps you get by typing it out every single morning, that when you do go through a mental one in any type of situation, you have the reps and you have the frameworks to see a different perspective. So switch, so SWITCH, and then what you do is you move into the next part of whatever it is, but just focus on switch. So switch is the story, the current story you are telling yourself. That's the S of switch. There's a current story that you are telling yourself right now based on the actions that you want to take and are not taking, or the actions that you have taken that you regret, or the feelings that you're feeling at this moment in time, or the problem that you're in that you're trying to find a solution for. There will be a story, an underlying story in that moment that puts you in a place of being trapped. And what you do is you go to W. So W is what do you want? So ultimately, what do you want from the situation? What do you want long term? What do your targets say? Getting clear on what you want in the future based on the problem and the story you're telling right now. Yeah, now I is it moving you closer to your targets? Is that story helping you? Is that story moving you into the right direction? So in theory, ultimately it comes down to, is the story you're telling going to give you what you want? If the answer is no, you move on to the next question is that story true? This comes from Byron Katie stuff, and you're just trying to work out. So can I prove that the story I'm telling myself right now is 100% true? As soon as you do that, you move on to the next one, which is C, which is change it to the opposite. Now, it makes sense that the opposite version of the current story you are telling is the furthest version from the original story. So, think of complete opposites. You've got left and right, you've got up, down, front, back, win, lose. Yeah, so whatever the current story is you're telling, you need to tell the complete opposites, change it to the complete opposite, just to get a different perspective. And with that, you provide 3 reasons why it's true. And you will find 3 reasons, even if it be in the past. Have I ever felt this in the past? Has this ever happened in the past? Have I seen this happen to other people? Whatever it may be, you will find a way to at least get 3 pieces of evidence that the complete opposite of that version of the story that you're telling is true. In doing that, it gives you a completely different perspective. Now you have a completely different view of the original story. And finally, the H on the end of switch is the hero story. It is, what story do I have to tell now to get me what I want and to move myself into action? This is the hero story. Yeah, so you are the hero of this whole information. Problem has hit the fan, shit is in trouble, you are struggling. What does the hero in that moment do? What story does that person tell? What is the hero story? What story do you need to tell so that you can move forward into the momentum that you need to get the results? Now that's the switch. Now obviously the basic form is move, again if you're doing it in your head, is map the action, overcome fear with action, value the feedback no matter what, and execute course correction based on feedback. And then if you just run this through your head, you will be able to switch yourself very, very quickly. You could be on a golf course, you could be in the car, you could be in a meeting, you could be in any situation. As long as you have a few minutes to be able to think through these frameworks, you can change the story to what you want and put yourself into a different action to get moving based on the problem that you've hit. So the shit's hit the fan, but somehow you've managed to get action, momentum, and moving in the right direction because of it. Now, we do a switch action taker every day inside Unbreakable Golfers. Obviously, action taker is obviously spelled out as well, similar to switch. But when you get those reps, the more you get in, you reframe your brain, you get used to framing things in a different way. It gives you ability to think, ability to calm down. And then when the shit does hit the fan and you're not in a position that you can simply type something out or write something out, you can just think through these frames because you've got so many reps in that you can put yourself into action and solve problems. So as always, a couple of questions for you. Question number 1. Where has the shit hit the fan and you've panicked, lost time, lost momentum, lost money, lost friends, whatever it may be, because you was unable to reframe it in that moment? Follow-up question. In that instant, what could have been different if you had gone through a mental switch move so you was able to get a different version of story and put yourself into action so you can move forward, stop procrastinating and get results quicker? Now, if you want to do the switch action taker, this is done inside Unbreakable Golfers, get in touch. But the point is, ultimately, if the story you're telling yourself isn't working, you need to tell a different story to get you what you want. And more important, you need to take action. Good luck. For more information on golf performance, by increasing your power, by getting in better positions, by working on your body and mind, go to unbreakablegolfers.com and sign up to the free asset.